Okay, welcome to I Have Control. This is the first video in our third volume, and this is the first video where I talk specifically about the techniques or concepts from Jeet Kune Do and the Filipino martial arts. So this video is about controls or traps, and we use those primarily to limit our opponent's offense or our defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video of me doing a couple of controls with my student, and then we'll come back and we'll see how we can apply those same controls on the wooden dummy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have one of my students here, and I'm going to show you the control positions. We put numbers to the control positions and also give you an opportunity to see what kind of a strike or a purpose there is to the control position. So if I was to put my hand on John's back of his hand, either way like this, I have an opportunity to place him under a position of control. As an example, I can pull down maybe a punch and then strike back, or I can guide this punch into an elbow destruction. So we refer to this as position number one or control position number one. Going a little bit further in on the arm, this is a control position number two, and again I can use either one of my arms. And if John was to retract that and then extend it again, you can see how I'm putting it under control here, so it can't come any further to me. Or if he was to maybe go down and tackle, I keep it under control there. So that's control position two. Control position three is a little bit further up on the arm, okay, and in this case I'll give you an example of when you would do this. This is to actually stop the jab from doing an extension once it retracts. So if you were to jab at me and then retract it, you see how I pin it here and then I can do a strike, or hold it here and do a strike. So far we have control position 1, 2, and 3, and our last control position is under the arm, okay, and we can do a groin strike, an ear slap from that position, or I can pull it under from this side and lock it under and do an uppercut or an eye poke, and that's control position number 4. Okay, so let's look at those controls and how we can practice them on the wooden dummy. And now, we number the controls just for reference to make it easier, because there are so many of them. Kind of like how the Filipino martial arts numbers their angles of attack to keep the learning process moving along quicker. So that's all we're doing here. Okay, so control position number 1 is usually when your opponent fully extends his arm, like during a punch, and you can put your hand in the position of control where you can maybe guide it into your elbow, and that's a technique from Kali called gunting, and it's very effective, you see. So this is where we're controlling it and we're placing our elbow right into his knuckle. Okay, I can also pull the hand down to keep it from retracting momentarily while I do a strike. Okay, it's a jerking motion that we use as a control position. Okay, so again, control position 1. Control position 2, as you saw in the video, was done midway on the person's arm, and hopefully you were able to stop him from fully extending his punch, or Jeet-teching is the name of the technique. It's a stop hit. It's a stopping technique, and it's meant to stop his extension of his punch, and of course you want to execute strikes while you do that control. That's the reason why we're placing it under control. Okay, that's control position 2. Again, these control positions can be done with either arm, and this could be maybe him trying to tackle me, so I'm going to follow that hand down and keep it under control as I execute a strike. Okay, so that is control position 2 on the outside of the arm. Control position 3 was where we were actually stopping our opponent from extending his arm. We're pinning it very close to his body, and this is the control position. I'll place it down here, and I'll execute a punch, a straight line punch, right as I'm doing that. And that's a technique that stems from Wing Chun. That's called Epoxao, or slapping hand. Okay, and that's one of the control positions I can put this in to prevent him from extending his hand. Now, to prevent him from retracting his hand, I'll go to control position 4, which is under the tricep, and I'm going to actually hold it here and prevent him from defending maybe against a groin strike, okay, or a ear slap, or any strike actually. You're just stopping him from using or retracting this hand, okay. So that's the application of how you can practice the first 4 positions of control in the wooden dummy. Let's look at another 4 positions. Okay, we ended on position 4. Now we're going to do 5, 6, and 7. These are all control positions we do to the person's arms, and we're on the inside of the arm. And when we go to the knuckle hand area, that we call that control position 5. I can always bring it right into an elbow and control it as it comes to full extension. Or maybe John will grab my shoulder and maybe throw a punch, and I'll just put it here and then wait for the retraction of the punch. Okay. If John was on my neck and I went to the next control position here, it gives me an opportunity to try and get this off, or at least try and get him to do something else. And if he throws a punch, there's my block. Now he might go for my leg with this hand, and then I put the control position back just on the other side. Okay, so anytime you're on the inside, that would be control position 6. This is control position 7. Okay, and here John has my neck again. Okay, and it's too tight to squeeze this in because maybe he bent his elbow and I can't get that control position. So I'm at this control position, and I'll just push it off and slap the kidney and poke the eyes. Okay, so as a review, on the inside of the arm, here's control position 5. Again, either hand. Control position 6, either hand. Control position 7, either hand. And then the last one is on top of the bicep, form a fist, right here. That's a control position. So if John was to jab at me, you see I can lock it in and stop him from retracting as I give him some shots while he's under control. Okay, we were talking about control positions on the outside of our opponent's arm, and now we're going to talk about control positions on the inside of our opponent's arm. And they're very similar, they're just in the same reference position as we use on the outside. So again, this would be control position 5, and usually used during an extension of a punch to guide that punch away from your face and into an elbow gunting. Okay, or I can guide it away from my face and then execute a technique from Wing Chun. You'll see this in some of my other videos with my students. I do this technique quite often. That's control position 5. Now, control position 6 was midline up on the opponent's arm. So it is extended, and the demonstration I used, because there's so many applications, was he had a hold of my neck, but he didn't quite get a chance to pull it in, and I was able to stop that, or G-teching from him from pulling in my neck. So that would be a stop position. I also want to defend myself, so I put my hand up into this position of control, and then I can travel that into a tackle defense, kind of what I did on control position 2. Okay, so this is all different control ways we can do control position number 6. Now, control position number 7 was on the inside of the arm, and we were using our hand instead. And in the video with my student, he actually got a chance to bend bend his arms and pull me in. So I really don't want to go to this control position. I'll just be trapping myself. So I'll use this to strike with, and I will use control position 7 to try and slap his arm off of my shoulder. Okay, so this would be an example of how to use control position 7. This is a technique from Kali that stems from the knife. It's also in the gunting category in Kali. Okay, so control position 7. And finally, on the outside of the, I'm sorry, on the inside of the arm, I start on the inside of the arm and I control the bicep area. And again, to prevent the person from retracting his strike, and then I can execute strikes while I have him out here. Okay, you can do it down here as well. You know, it's really your personal preference of where you want to put that control position, right on top of the bicep. Okay. There's still more controls to show you, but we're going to save that for our next video that we'll hopefully bring out to you soon, and that is called Still in Control. Thanks for watching.